job because
I mean,
it is. He's had Phillip Rivers last year, and then now he has. I mean, Phillip Rivers. You can say arguably, but he's at least at one point was a really good quarterback. Now he has a great rookie quarterback in Justin Herbert, and they still have the same problem of they can't win a close game. Like anytime the game is tight, the Chargers are going to lose. It's like a rule, an unwritten rule, and it's unfortunate because I like Anthony Flynn holding it down for the brothers, but if he keeps this up, and which it seems like they will, I don't see him coming back next year.
unfortunately, with the NFL and coaching jobs, they love threatening your job whenever a team start doing bad. They did it to Pittsburgh Steelers last season when they missed playoffs like 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
They were talking about this man and his job. It's like, yeah. But when it comes to them, do you think it comes down to like playing actual player problems, or does it come down to coaching and decision making on why they're losing these games?
It's weird with them. It seems like it's a mix of both. Like there's sometimes when they had Phillip Rivers, there was a few where it was coaching, but there was a lot where it was 2-minute drill and Phillip Rivers throws a pick, and it's like, well, and he did that on a few occasions, like really bad times, turnovers. But this year, some of it just seems like just bad coaching. Like I can't really put it on too many of the players. Like this year, it seems like it's more coaching than the players.
I give it to them. It's just hard to decipher whose fault. Not necessarily putting blame on anybody, but like,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
Right. Yeah, I mean, because again, after like 2 years in a row of the same problems, the one constant here is the coaching staff. So I don't know. I hope he turn it around, but I can't see that happening.
No, not with the rest of the season that's going on. So.
Yeah. And then last but not least, my New England Patriots upsetting the Ravens in the 2020 Foxborough Tsunami. We ran our offense in a very similar way that we did against the Jets the previous week, letting the running game do the bulk of the work and then only throwing when we absolutely have to. The defense played really, really well. Bill Belichick clearly took a page out of Mike Tomlin's book when the Steelers played the Ravens the previous week, because it seemed like our defensive game plan was more or less the same, where it's like just make sure, like, shut down their running game and just force Lamar to throw, which was partly helped by the weather. I mean, it was ridiculously rainy, so that is a big help no matter who you're playing. But it's just another more proof that that's how you beat Lamar Jackson. Shut down their run game and just force him to throw the ball.
Yes, I agree, because as much as personal reasons of me just wanting to lose because it helps my division
Right.
out, they keep losing, but like, shut down the run game. Lamar Jackson, great arm, but like maybe could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
So when he's forced to just throw, he's going to make a mistake, unfortunately, because he just doesn't have the confidence, I guess, or the experience to really be consistent with his passing game.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to make a mistake and get beaten that way. He thrives on the fact that he can move around. He hopes that you rush him so you can take it and rush him.
Right.
So just keep him in the pocket, keep him moving around, force him to have to make decisions and use his head instead of his feet.
Yeah, because if you don't contain him, he's just going to gash you in any possible way he can. But it seems like the more higher tier teams like us, the Steelers, I forgot who the third loss of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just contain him. Just make sure that we play contain and force him to throw the ball. Because as long as we don't let the running game take off, then
everything else will fall apart.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of naturally.
It's like I don't necessarily care that you rush him. Don't give him all day in the pocket, but don't necessarily continue to rush him because that's what he wants. Just force him to have to make a throw.
Yeah, yeah, and he did throw a pick when he was trying to target Hollywood Brown, and he just overthrew it and basically put it right into the hands of J.C. Jackson, and he made a great play to pick up the ball. So great job all around. Props to my Pats. It's looking a lot better. Hopefully we can keep this up, keep up the momentum. Just maybe we can track down a wild card spot in the AFC. Hopefully the Bills and the Dolphins start to falter, but
Become more of the Bills Dolphins.
yeah, we need them to remember who they are. But yeah, great job by the coaching staff and by the players. So big props. So cool. So that'll do it for the predictions for this week. I forgot to put up the banner, folks, but here's the next one. Bam. Yeah. So Houston, the Houston Rockets. We're gonna switch gears to the NBA for this next one. It's gonna be. We've talked about only NFL for like the past month, so this is switching gears heavy. Yeah, the Houston Rockets are in a bit of a pickle, folks. So James Harden and Russell Westbrook both want out of Houston after just 1 year of playing together, which is, to me, it went as good as it possibly could have gone.
Yes.
Like, whatever we just saw, that was the peak. It could not have gone any better. It could have been a lot worse. Like, it could have been drama, toxic, just bad situation, but they seem to have get along. To me, it seems like they both, it's not each other, it's just that they're tired of the organization. Like, I think their GM is gone, their head coach is gone, and at this point, it's like, what are we still doing here?
Yes, we clearly aren't getting where we want to be with this team, and we're just kind of like wasting time.
Yeah.
The true question is, do they try and travel? Clearly, probably not. Go as a duo again, which I don't see a team probably having a budget to afford for James Harden.
Yeah, that's the thing,
And
is
both
that
of them.
it's a just all out trade. It's not like either one of them are coming out of a contract. The interesting thing to me is specifically Harden. He just turned down their contract extension, so he would have been paid. I think he would have been paid the highest in the history of the NBA. Like, he would have been making $50 million a year, and the man turned it down.
That's when you know somebody's really tired of being there with you, when he is throwing down that type of contract.
Yes.
Like, I don't be here no more.
Like, if you're offering somebody to be the highest paid ever, and they're like, no.
You know, that's a personal inside shot to you as a team. Like, I'm so tired of you. I refuse $50 million a year to not be here no more.
I mean, me, I'd have signed right on that line.
Yes, I would have put signature, blood stamp, firstborn child. Here, use it whatever you need to.
Whatever you want. But yeah, he specifically requested he wants to go to Brooklyn and link up with Kyrie and KD.
And that's really interesting.
That, I'm sorry, but to me, that sounds like the most toxic roster.
It's gonna be another. If they can get along, that's gonna be another like Golden State and Dream Team type of thing, where it's gonna be like stupid, ridiculous to sit there and watch. But
if they could, but to me, like, KD's like probably my favorite player to watch. I personally, when healthy, I think he's the best player on the planet. But at the same time, I think that he is one of the most toxic players in the NBA. Kyrie, also one of the most toxic players in the NBA, which is kind of ironic on why they get along. And then James Harden,
another toxic.
yeah, he's up there. Which is like, somehow, some way, Kyrie and KD get along. But what are the odds that you throw in James Harden and he doesn't just fucking wreck everything?
And when's the last time you saw KD even like?
Exactly. It's been since last summer.
Exactly. So it's gonna be different that his first time really like playing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you throw in James Harden, and then all three of them just on the field.
Yeah, And so I think yesterday the Rockets basically said, "Hey, if you want James Harden, you have to give us Kyrie in exchange. Like we're not doing this. Give him to you, and you send us 90% of your roster for all these dudes that we don't even know."
But you know they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, because Brooklyn is like, well, that's the whole point. Like we're not gonna take him unless we have Kyrie and KD.
Exactly. We want both of them.
Yeah.
My true question is the hopes of Westbrook and where he goes as a player.
So the interesting thing with Westbrook, he's still owed $132 million. They owe him a boatload of money, and it's like at this point, nobody wants to pay Russell Westbrook $132. Like, why would you do that? So unless he goes to like I think I heard the Knicks because nobody wants to go there, so they got a bunch of money just laying around. But apparently the Wizards are in talk with Houston because John Wall, I know we haven't heard that name in a minute.
It's like, what are you going to the Wizards for?
John Wall is owed the same exact amount of money, $132 million exactly. So they could just do an even exchange and send, each in the opposite direction. But Houston is saying you have to give us more than just John Wall. And the Wizards are kind of like, well, you don't have any other choice. Like nobody else is gonna take Russell Westbrook, so you have to. It should just be an even exchange. So I guess now it's just kind of like a stalemate thing where it's like, well, we kind of have to give something else up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Where do you see the Washington thing working out?
It's gonna pan out. They're gonna force their hand of like, well, you gotta have to do whatever you say. And I definitely see what's his name, James Harden definitely going back and joining that threesome over there.
So
in New York and strip club hopping.
You think Harden going to Brooklyn? Do you think he'll join? They'll make a big three, or do you think that he'll go and they have to give up one of the two? Like,
no,
do you think?
I see them making a big three. It'd be stupid of New York not to make it would defeat the whole entire purpose. They're gonna have to work out some sort of deal, like literally give up 95% of their roster in order for this to work. But they'll do it though.
I agree. I think right now Houston is kind of like they've said, oh, we're prepared to be uncomfortable next year, and it's like you say that, but once we hit like February and Russ and James Harden ain't even playing because they're so annoyed.
Yes.
They're not prepared to be uncomfortable. I think they're going to give in after a little while, and they're going to send him off and take 95% of the Brooklyn Nets roster.
Yes.
And the Nets will be left with 3 players.
But the thing is, the Nets are going to pick up a whole bunch of no-name people.
Yes.
And the thing is, that trio is going to be, if they work out, it's going to be such of a monster that they're going to make these no-name people really do look.
The same way the Lakers gave up the house to get Anthony Davis.
Yes.
And they had at one point they had 5 people on their roster.
Yeah, they're willing to empty out their whole entire roster and put towel boys on the court if they need to.
To be honest, they probably could just run out there with just 3 of them. Play 3-on-5.
Can you imagine trying to cover if they put all 3 of them on the court, try to cover all 3 of those people? It's ridiculous range and size and power. It's it doesn't really matter at that point in time.
I'm imagining that 2K team of somebody picking the Nets.
This is legit like a 2K20 team. Somebody literally has to control in front of the TV, just controlling.
That would be so ridiculous. I kind of want to see it happen just for because the last time we saw something this ridiculous, was when KD went to the Warriors, and that was it was ridiculous. But this, I think that this would top that.
Surprise this.
That would be unbelievable.
You got 3 people that can shoot their minds out, and
3 people that can score from anywhere.
Yes, legit. Anywhere on the court is fair game for these people. It's gonna be ridiculous to guard. This will definitely make postseason very interesting.
Yes, but the only reason I wouldn't want it to happen, well, the big reason I don't want it to happen is because forget the Eastern Conference at this point. Why Miami Boston, Milwaukee. Why even try? Like, you're not gonna beat them. It'd be like when KD was on Golden State and we all knew who's coming out of the West. The Warriors. It's gonna be the Warriors against whoever comes out of the East.
Yeah.
So it would basically just be the same thing. Just we know the Nets are gonna come out of the East, and it just makes it like depressing.
It is. I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch on the court,
Yeah.
but like,
From the larger picture, it would just be like, can we just skip to the playoffs?
yes, it's like how literally like 2K you just sim ahead. For the rest of the season.
Sim
It's
your
like,
season.
sim your season. I'm just going ahead and sim the rest of our dubs. Stop wasting people's time.
Yeah. And then for Russ, I don't know. If they get rid of James Harden, if he leaves and they do force their hand, at that point, I think they'll also get rid of Russell. They'll send him to fucking wherever. New York, Charlotte, who cares? The WNBA, if they have to. Like, they'll send him wherever they needs to go. I think they're just both the organization, player, tired of each other.
Just start from scratch at that point.
Yeah, and it's gonna be weird, but the Rockets are about to be a rebuild team with a bunch of. Even if they do get John Wall, he hasn't played since December of 2018 because of just injury after injury, and he's like. Him and Russell Westbrook are very similar, where they both play just completely off of their athleticism. So if he's coming off of an injury, you're praying that he still has that athleticism. It's very similar to me to Derrick Rose,
Yes.
where it's like he's predicated on athleticism. So if he comes off an injury, you're praying he still has that, and if he doesn't, well, you get Derrick Rose. So it's like he could very well come back and not be anything like the John Wall that we remembered. And to me, I mean, I think Russell Westbrook is a lot better than John Wall.
Yes, for sure.
So if you degrade John Wall, it's like, damn, what are you left with? Like,
As much as people love to hate on Russell, I think he's a great player. Could be a great athlete too. It's just people just love to hate on him, man. It's Russell Westbrook.
He's one of those. It's weird. He's one of those dudes that you can watch and love to watch him play for 60 seconds, but in 10 seconds you will hate him, and you're like, why would you do that? Like, his decision making sometimes is just asinine, and it's. To me, he's one of those dudes where I don't think he's ever gonna win a title, unfortunately, because of how big of a player he is. Like, you'd have to build your franchise around him. Like, he's your franchise player, but your franchise player can't be the dude that is going to shoot you out of a game. So I don't see him, just like with the Thunder when they still had KD. It was like, to me, that was exactly the problem. I don't mean to pin it all on him, but they'd be in close games, and instead of just giving the ball to KD, he would shoot them right out of a game. And unfortunately, I see that wherever he goes.
What he has in athleticism and ability, he lacks in basketball IQ per se.
Exactly.
And basketball IQ makes up a lot of the game.
Yes.
This is why people like LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe are so great. Is because I feel like on top of whatever skill and ability they have great basketball IQ, and that will top a lot overall. I've seen big dudes that like have zero to no athleticism, but because they know the game, they help the team out.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the postseason, when it's not so much about the athleticism, it's more about your shooting, your finesse, like IQ, all the decision making. Yeah, the intangible stuff pays off in the long run. And if you don't have that, and you're supposed to be the guy where the majority of your cap salary is going, it hinders you.
You will hurt and kill your team at the same time.
Yeah. So yeah, season is. It's looking like the NBA is trying to start right before Christmas, like December 22nd, which I didn't think was going to happen, but it's sounding more and more likely, which will be, I mean, incredible if they can get.
Are they going to try? I wonder if they're trying to go back to the bubble type of technique.
Oh, I don't think so.
Or their actual
I'm assuming stadiums with either probably just the same way the NFL is doing it,
Yeah.
leading up to the city and then go from there.
We shall see. It'll be interesting
Yeah.
to watch.
So, yeah, we'll see. But it'd be great if they could actually come back right around Christmas. Um, so next topic, going back to the NFL, that is the L's of the week. Best topic on this godforsaken show. Um, we're gonna start off with the Bengals losing 36-10 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shaq, any thoughts on this one?
Love it. Clapped up the orange and black cheeks. It's ready for it. Steelers working their way through the season. Working their way 9-0 right now.
9-0,
9-0.
folks.
And I see them beating next week, going 10-0, and then we got another big game against the wonderful Ravens after that. But
Take two.
But I'll take it. And people were talking about, oh, this might be the team to beat the Steelers. Like,
Yeah, let me. ESPN Sunday Countdown Crew, shame on you. That
no faith.
I understand, upset alert, and yes, teams that go on long undefeated streaks tend to fall to teams that you wouldn't expect, but in this sense, it wasn't like it's the last game of the season or the second to last game when that usually would happen. Like, I don't understand where that came from. Of like, oh yeah, of course they're gonna lose this one. This is the team that the streak ends here. I don't know. To me, put some more respect on the Steelers' name. Yes, their schedule is pretty easy. I'll say that. But at the same time, it isn't like. To me, yes, the schedule is easy, but their team still is that good. Like, they're still a well-rounded team, and the record doesn't lie. So, yeah,
Yes,
I
for
think
sure.
it was just disrespectful.
Very disrespectful. I'll take it. It's like, yes, we do have an easy schedule. I'll admit that, but we have beaten the hard teams that have come along
Yeah.
to us. We've definitely beaten the Ravens and like divisional Titans and like teams that were at the top of their division or very competitive teams. So it's not like we've just beaten all these easy teams and losing against hard teams. We're beating
Right.
everybody that we can play against. So we're definitely improving ourselves.
Yeah. And then on that same note, everybody on that show picked the Ravens to beat the Patriots, and all of them are wrong. So please keep picking against the Patriots, because anytime people do that, it works in our favor. So, yep. Moving right along, the Eagles lost 27-17 to the New York Giants. The roller coaster ride known as the NFC least continues on as the Eagles allow Daniel Jones and the New York Giants to hang 27 on their dome.
The Eagles continue to be the most sorry individuals on God's green earth. Swear to God, to believe that this team won like a Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's strange.
It's like can't say almost the same roster because I know the exact roster, but like
They have a lot of that team is still left
yeah.
over.
So it's like you got a lot of players that won a Super Bowl with that team here and now taking fat L's to the Giants.
Yeah, and for a lot of the season and last season, they were extremely injury ridden. I get that. But last week, I heard all this talk about the Eagles are getting their starters back. Alshon Jeffrey's coming back. They're getting help on their old line. I forget their starting running back's name, but he's coming back. And that's the reason why Carson Wentz looks so bad, is because he hasn't had any of his offense around him. They came back and lost to the Giants.
Exactly. He's like
Convincingly, too.
It's just stupid. This team's just meant to be. I feel like they were well deserved of a rebuild season.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Everybody came back. You're bad.
Yeah, just scratch the rest of your team. Just start them.
Yes. Carson Wentz, you're bad. Sorry, but you're not good. I don't know how else to say it. Moving along, the Raiders slapped the Broncos 37-12. The Broncos are now 3-6, which is no surprise. But the Raiders are a quiet 6-3.
People have not noticed the Raiders.
Yes.
Quietly moving along. They're just under the radar, performing just good enough to.
So, they're tied with a few other teams in the AFC. I think the Ravens are 6-3, the Colts are 6-3, the Titans are 6-3. But with all that being said, do you think the Raiders will end up claiming a playoff spot by the end of the year?
I do not. I do not see them. I think they're just making a statement that we can be competitive, but I see some things falling apart here or there come late season, and just not working out. I don't think they'll have the luxury of like higher tier teams being able to sit people out once they claim a spot. They got to play everybody till the very last game and still catching up. So
they have their hardest games. They have the Chiefs this Sunday night. The really funny thing, they beat the Chiefs earlier this season in Kansas City, and then apparently they made a victory lap in their bus going around the Chiefs Stadium. So the Chiefs are mad.
You ain't gotta make that happen again.
Yes. That's an instant L. You don't have to watch the game. Right? We already know.
Yeah, no snap.
Right.
It's all good. Can I tell you how that's the most ignorant thing you can possibly do as a team? Not just make a lap around the field, but take your whole bus, waste gas, to make a lap around the stadium.
And there's like 10 people allowed to go to the games at this point, so it's very noticeable to see a bus.
Just make a lap. So you definitely catch an L. Sorry, you deserve it.
Now they're gonna beat you down on your own home field.
Yes, make a lap around this.
Right. So yeah, they have the Chiefs, they have the Colts, and they have the Dolphins. And then the rest of their schedule is just for the trash teams. So
I see them catching 3 straight L's, honestly.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, if they go, what would that make them? I don't know. I'm not gonna do the math right now. But yeah, if they were to finish with 6 losses total,
that would almost for sure knock them out of the playoff running.
Probably, because out of the rest of those teams that I just mentioned, somebody else is inevitably gonna have a better record.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, good luck, Raiders. No disrespect, but
disrespect
that. Next up, the Panthers were defeated by the Bucks, 46-23. The Panthers were very competitive in the first half of this game, and the Bucks switched it on in the second half of this game, and they actually ended up blowing out the Panthers 29-6 in the third and the fourth quarter, which is pretty bad. The Panthers. Nori, friend of the show, I'm sorry, man, but you probably end up being right, and your Panthers will finish with 5 wins at the end of the year, which is unfortunate.
I pray for you, man. I give you props though, being a committed fan. Nothing but respect for people like that who stay committed to their team, but
through thick and thin.
Like, so bless his soul, but like Panthers really need to figure out something.
Yeah. God bless them. Next up, and the last L on this L's of the week.
It's a very unfortunate one too.
This is the one we've all have seen 100,000 times this week. The Bills lost on a Hail Mary play to the Cardinals, 32-30. Great throw, great catch by D-Hop from Kyler Murray. The Bills standing around just looking at each other.
Exactly.
This was really, really embarrassing. The Bills have looked good in the first half of the season, and then these past couple games, outside of that huge win they had against Seattle, they've looked like the Bills of the past, where it's like, what the hell are you doing? And I think they are in big danger if they keep these weird blunders up. They're in big danger of the Dolphins, because the Dolphins are only 1 win back of them. I think they're 7-3, and the Dolphins are 6-3.
Hmm.
Dolphins are only a win back, so if they keep this up, the Dolphins are going to overtake their spot and be first in the AFC East. Um, which my prediction, I think that is going to happen because when stuff like this happens, like when you have those just wild plays, for most teams, it just breaks them. Like,
Yes, I can understand why.
yeah, when you have all but guaranteed a win and then you lose on literally the last second on a miracle of a play, it's just that breaks a dude's spirit right there. And I think from here on, not that they're gonna lose every single game, but I feel like it's the beginning of the tailspin for the Bills.
Hey, better look for the Dolphins to capitalize on whatever the rest of the season
Yeah.
is going to be going on. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm again. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say the Dolphins are gonna win the AFC East, but indirectly, that is what I'm saying.
Them quarters on that. That'd be a once in a lifetime for all of you who keep up with sports. The Dolphins top
I just can't let those exact words come out of my own mouth because my mouth can't form that. But you see what I'm saying.
could literally cause physical pain to say that.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for the L's of the week. We're gonna take a quick break. Be back in roughly 5 minutes with the predictions for next week. So we will BRB. And we're back from the break. Glad you guys stuck around that entire time. At least I'm going to assume you stuck around because it's the greatest show on earth, people. I'm going to take off this banner now. I'm being preemptive. And I just wanted to remind everybody, follow us on Instagram. It is at AFR Sports. We provide exclusive content right there on Instagram. So if you want to see real time, just whatever day that was, Monday night, the Vikings Bears game, a real stunner of a game, divisional matchup, low scoring game between Kirk Cousins and Nick Foles. I just posted a little Monday night fantasy duel lineup. Usually we only get the fantasy duel lineups for the Sunday games, but Monday nights, put a little money on those games. My other half, Autumn, actually won. She doubled her money. Double 2 times the spread, people.
Take that money and double it.
This is simple multiplication.
Exactly, folks. I'm saying if there's a way for us to put this on TikTok, we will definitely be streaming on TikTok if you find a way to do this.
Just so you wait, folks. 2022 will be on TikTok.
That's what I'm saying. TikTok for trending.
Right. So that is at AFR Sports. That is at AFR Sports. And one more time, in case you missed it, at AFR Sports. All one word. At AFR Sports. On Instagram.
AFR Sports.
So we're going to move on to our predictions for this upcoming week. There are, just to reiterate, folks, in case it's your first time hearing this amazing show, we don't cover every single game because we'd be here until we're blue in the face, but we cover the more marquee games. If you want to hear us cover something specifically within the NFL or NBA, feel free to leave a comment here in the live chat. Leave a review on Spotify or Stitcher or wherever the hell you may. If you're listening to us in the future, I don't know. Fuck, maybe this show survived a nuclear blast and you're listening to this in 3031. I don't know. Interesting tidbit. Just drop a line, and if you're in the case of the nuclear blast, probably won't be getting back to you. But if you drop it now, we will get back to you next week. So, just let us know who you want us to talk about. But anyway, this week, for the predictions for this coming week, we are starting off with the big game tomorrow night. This is the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks for the Thursday night game. Shaq, what are your thoughts?
Arizona.
Oh, Shaq coming hot out of the gate.
I say Arizona. They have feeling themselves on a hot offense type of vibe, and any team that's a hot offense like that, explosive, those wonderful, Seattle's gonna fall apart.
You aren't wrong.
I feel like if it becomes a shootout like that kind of thing, Seattle's defense is gonna fail. So I say Arizona by 3. Again, I see them come back by 3 points and win this game.
Do you have a final score?
21-17. Not necessarily 3, but 21-17. I say not by a full touchdown.
Within one possession, though.
Yes.
And that's the Seattle Seahawks coming to throw shade at Shaq for picking the Cardinals.
Yes. Immediate suffering for that.
I am going to pick the other side. I just cannot see Russell Wilson losing 3 in a row, because at this point, he would have lost to the Bills, the Rams, and then the Cards, and I don't see that happening. So I'm really just picking them purely out of the fact that they kind of have to win this one. Like, the NFC West is super competitive right now. Like I said earlier, they're in a 3-way tie with the Rams and the Cardinals. So, like, these divisional games are huge for everyone in that division. So, I'm going to say they hold serve on their home field. They already lost the Cardinals once in Arizona a few weeks ago. I'm going to assume they hold serve. I think it's going to be a great game, a shootout. Nick Merckx on Twitch, huge Twitch streamer, he bet $2,000 on the score being over. I think the line is at 57.5 points. So combined score of 57.5. So if both teams score, basically, like, if they score like 29, I think that would put them over. But dude, live on stream bet $2,000 on that happening. So we'll see if that happens. that makes my FanDuel feel like fuck these $2, $3, $5 whatever, but $2,000 is like I couldn't imagine sitting there like, come on. But I mean, hey, $2,000 to him is probably lunch, so whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna say the Seahawks end up winning this in an absolute shootout. I got this going 33-30. I think the Seahawks are gonna end up winning, but we will see tomorrow. This is one of the best games this week, which is great because Thursday nights usually don't contain the best game of the week. Moving on, the Titans at the Ravens at 1:00 this Sunday. Another big game in the AFC. Both these teams are tied at 6-3, so big implications for both of them to stay in it. I think the Titans are tied with the Colts for first place in their division, but the Ravens, at this point, I mean, I don't see them tracking down first place in the AFC North, but it's more so like they need to stay in the wild card hunt.
Because right now they tie with the Browns for
probably
second. Yeah, they are. I think we checked the tie for the Browns for second place.
Yeah,
right
the Browns are 6-3. Mm-hmm. That's so weird. They are. Hold on, folks. This is kind of a weird way to structure it. Yeah, they're. Man, there's a lot of teams in the AFC who are 6-3 exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting from here on out.
My guess is Tennessee.
Oh, Shaq is going with Tennessee. Yeah, we're also gonna differ on this one because I'm gonna say the Ravens will win this in a nail biter. I don't think it's gonna be close, but I think it'll be 23-21. Simply because I don't know, flip a coin. I think the Ravens are gonna end up pulling this one out. They're at home. They're coming off an embarrassing loss to the New England Patriots. I feel like the Ravens are gonna win this one, but Shaq is going with the Titans.
I say 23-21 in
just the opposite way. Okay.
Tennessee's favor.
Gotcha.
About that.
So far we've got two very close games. Then we've got the Packers at the Colts, the other team that the Titans are tied with. This one's gonna be 4:30 on Sunday afternoon. To me, I'm gonna go on a limb here. This Green Bay struggled to beat the Jags. They made the Jags look like a formidable opponent, which was very strange. But every dog has its day. But Phillip Rivers and the Colts coming off a great win against their divisional opponents with the Titans last Thursday night. They slapped the Titans, made them look just sorry. And I think that they're riding a high right now. They're playing at home this Sunday against the Green Bay Packers, who just struggled to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going upset alert. I think the Colts are going to take down the Packers. Nestor's hammering down the upset alert bell. I feel like the Indianapolis Colts are going to do what they need to do and maintain that sweet winner's high and go basically win 2 in a row and beat the Packers at home 28-25.
I'm gonna say Green Bay on this one. I can say 21-14.
Okay, fair enough.
Green Bay. I just don't see Aaron Rodgers trying to lose.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. And A-Rod we trust.
Our audio engineer is putting on 2 hats right now. He's telling that our video is off. It's because probably the camera's battery just died. So give me 2 seconds, people. Let me go ahead and replay this real quick.
To click the side of his phone and
we'll be right back in 1 minute. And we're right back. Thank God that we have such a talented engineer who doubles as a video engineer and a audio engineer.
Versatile.
Exactly.
Never seems to fail.
Hope to have him on the show one day, but
2 seasons from now.
by the time that nuclear blast hits, you might be on the show.
Exactly. Got skeletons in the camera. But anyway.
Yeah. So far, Shaq and I have picked opposite up until this point. So next we got the Rams against the Buccaneers here in Tampa on Monday Night Football, 8:15 p.m. Big Monday night matchup here in Tampa. This should be a great game. The Bucs trying to string together 2 wins in a row. To me, I think that Tampa is smelling blood in the water at this point because they know that Drew Brees is out, and
they need to capitalize on the fact.
Yeah, that their old buddy and pal Jameis is now leading the charge over there, and they're like, yeah, we can take this over now.
Yeah, it's time to full force ahead.
Yeah, I feel like they know, all right, this is our time to overtake this. Let's not even mess around with the wild card game here in the NFC. Let's just overtake this and play lights out for the rest of the year. So I feel like this is going to go similarly to the Panthers game, where it's pretty close in the first half. But come third quarter, maybe even fourth quarter, it might come down to the fourth, but I feel like Tampa at some point, they're going to switch that gear and just completely blow out Jared Goff and the Rams. And, yeah, I've got the final score being 28-17 Tampa.
I say Tampa. This is where we really agree. Tampa is going to be definitely the winner in this one at home. They want to take, like you said, take over the rest of the season because the old boy Jameis the GOAT.
Right.
I almost choked myself saying
almost
that.
Jared Goff right on the show.
Exactly. It's taken over, so they need to capitalize, and they will win this game by, I want to say, a touchdown come fourth quarter.
Okay, so you can just closer game.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So yeah, we both got the Bucks, and then besides that, we've picked opposites on the other 3 games. So we will see, and that will bring us to our last topic of the day, and that is our FanDuel fantasy lineups, which has quickly become my favorite segment on this show. Last week, I think we flipped. I did win money last week with my lineup. Shaq, they said you did not win any money, which puts Shaq, I think now you're under 500 at 2-3, and then that put me at 3-2.
I think this week may be the money week for me. So I'm
Shaq's
praying on
optimistic.
this one. All right.
So yeah, statistically showing this would be a down week for me, and then I probably won't win anything, but you should still pick my line. Shaq is in uncharted waters right now, but he's feeling pretty confident, so take that as you may. Yeah, Shaq, do you want to go first?
I'll go first this week. For my wonderful quarterback, I picked Big Ben. They are playing Jacksonville this week, so I'm hoping that Big Ben comes out, lets people know, play against Jacksonville, and put up numbers.
Yes.
I'm hoping it's Jacksonville. Yes.
Hoping the same thing.
I picked for my first running back, I picked Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
They play Philly this week.
They sure do.
So I was like, I'm hoping the Browns, they're on a good year this year, that they come out and let Philly know who got worked by the Giants past week, that just run through them. Getting some points. I picked Burkhead from New England as my second running back against Houston.
Right on.
That's what I'm saying. Just let him know. Frame. From first receiver, I picked Juju.
Folks, this is unprecedented right now.
That's what I'm saying. Juju against Jacksonville. I promise you, money tree.
Oof. Shaq is going money tree on Juju this week. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Second receiver, Galladay from Detroit, playing Carolina this week.
They sure are.
I'm just saying. It may not be the money tree one, but may throw a couple change in your piggy bank this week, letting you know it's a couple points.
Yep, Shaq's got Galladay running all over the Carolina Panthers. Sorry, Nori.
Again, for my other receiver, Jarvis Landry, Philly. I mean, they're playing Philly this week.
Right.
Once again, I'm hoping that these two games are really just beating me. I gotta pick a filler, so I picked not this good. Calm down. I picked, Dallas Gooder, or whatever you pronounce his name. He's playing Cleveland, so
Dallas Goddard. Okay, got you.
His name, just hoping need a filler. For my flex, I picked wonderful Brown, AJ Brown from Tennessee.
Right on.
They're going against Baltimore, so I'm just hoping that a couple feeder points. Fletcher.
Right.
Was cheap, budget friendly. And for my defense, I picked Pittsburgh Steelers against Jacksonville.
Yes.
Folks, you're shorting the Bills this week. If M. Scott ain't working out, if you need some extra change, I got you, okay?
Shaq's giving the hookup. Tell your employer, hold the check, okay? I got a bag on the way.
It's like you got that coworker you know broke. Just go ahead and just forward it. Don't we got an M. Scott this week? You don't need that money in advance. I got you. You can probably pay your neighbor's rent this week.
Lend a helping hand to your neighbors this
I'm
week.
Community service, so you pass a helping hand. That's all I'm saying. Money trees.
For my lineup, mine is very, very similar to Shaq's. So it won't require too much further explanation. My starting quarterback, I've got Big Ben, of course. The Jags played their hardest against the Packers. I'm sorry, but they're not playing their hardest for 2 games in a row. So statistically speaking, they're about to get the shit blown out of them. Big Ben. For my starting running back, I threw in the points. Threw in that budget and said, Dalvin Cook, come win me some money. Dalvin Cook is facing the Dallas Cowgirls, people. Dalvin Cook is arguably the best running back in the NFL right now. I think he is about to run amok on that god-awful defense in Dallas. Go ahead and pick up Dalvin Cook. Spend that budget and bring Dalvin Cook to your team. You can thank me later. For my running back, my second running back, I've got Rex Burkhead, the same way Shaq did. We're playing Houston. Rex has been playing really, really well these past few games. So follow that bull trend right on up. And I think that Rex Burkhead is also going to play really, really well against the not-so-great Houston Texans. Then for my first wide receiver, I've also got Juju Smith-Schuster. They are once again playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we've got Big Ben, so I'm hoping string together some points. Ben feeding Juju. I mean, you're right there. You're just feeding right off of what you already have. Come on, people. It's simple economics. Next up, we've got CeeDee Lamb. Yes, I did pick a Dallas Cowgirl. I think this is one of the very few times this year you will ever see me pick one of them, but they are playing Minnesota. Looks like Andy Dalton's going to be back. Minnesota's secondary only looked half decent last week because they were playing against Nick Foles. But this week, not that the Cowgirls are much better, but I think that CeeDee Lamb will have a solid game. I'm not telling you that CeeDee Lamb's going to carry your roster, but I think CeeDee Lamb will get you at least into the double digits, maybe 11-ish points. So for my third wide receiver, I've got Jarvis Landry, who, like Shaq said, playing the Philadelphia Eagles. My tight end, I've got TJ Hawkinson. They're playing against the Carolina Panthers. I think good old TJ, sorry Nori, but I think that Carolina is just pretty bad, and I think that TJ is going to have a big game, big guy, big game, and God bless him. So it is what it is. For my flex, I've got Tyler Boyd of the Cincinnati Bengals. They're playing the Washington football team, which sounds like a high school team. If you remove the last game against...
They play like it.
It sound like it, look like it. You can fill in the rest. If you remove the last beatdown from the Steelers, Tyler Boyd from the Bengals has actually played pretty well. He's averaging like a dozen points a game, so I think against the god-awful Washington football team, I think Tyler Boyd is actually going to be pretty good. And then last but not least, I am going out on a limb. I'm buying into the hype train. I went ahead and picked up Miami Dolphins defense going up against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are one of the worst offenses in the NFL.
Denver Ponies.
Right. Those, I mean, they were good enough to beat my team, but that's not really saying that much. Yeah, I'm saying the Dolphins defense holds it down against Denver and brings in a bunch of points. So both of our lineups very similar this week. I'd say go ahead and pick both of them because why not?
I said, tell Lisa from Scott you ain't seen her this week.
Go ahead and hold that.
Hold the check. As a matter of fact, tell you buying her dinner this week.
Go ahead and help out that lady down at Scott.
That's what I'm saying. You'll be handing you your check every week until you got her.
Like Shaq said, on a requote from Drake, in the next life, we're trying to stay paid.
Exactly. That's all I'm trying to do here.
And, pick these lineups. I mean, you might fly down to here and be on the show next week for all we know.
Exactly. Shit. Got that extra money to fight.
So anyway, make sure you bet whatever the highest bet you can find on FanDuel, $99, $999. Stake it on these two lineups. You'll be taken care of. We are not financial advisors, by the way. That's going to do it for this week's show, folks. Hope you highly enjoyed it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at AFR Sports. Make sure that if you aren't already subscribed on YouTube, it's Melheim's Media. Go ahead and subscribe over there and hit the bell notification so that you can get notified every time we're live here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday. And if you want to listen to the show, if you're unaware, we're on Spotify, Stitcher, probably not good enough for Apple Music, so I don't think we're still there, but apparently we're on just about everything else, so just look up after further review on all those podcast platforms. Shaq, anything else you want to say?
Like I said, 2022 will be on TikTok, and like I said, just follow. Let us know. We here
Right.
for y'all. Okay.
We are here. Yeah, that will do it for this show. Good luck to the NBA draft. Good luck to the Cardinals and the Seahawks tomorrow. Good luck to everybody playing this Sunday. Hope nobody else breaks their ribs. It's pretty unfortunate. Old man problems. Yeah.
You got A-Rod ribs, Roethlisberger knees and elbows.
We'll see you all next